All hail a beard, it's your boy Big BB, and we are here for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today is a very special video, and before I hop into it, I want to let you know that this is a video I wasn't sure I was going to truly do. I talked about it, I threw a tester out there, and some of you have been hitting me up more and more about this video, so I figured I would give the people what they wanted to see. Today we have a 10 for life. But this video is a little bit different, as these are the final 10 fragrance recommendations that I received from my guy Kevin Samuels, man. So as you know, he's a good friend of mine. We talked every week, and in fact, one of our last conversations was 2 days before my birthday. He hit me up 10 days for my birthday and was like, hey, I'm out here, I'm shopping. He called me and he said, have you smelled this fragrance? I was like, nah, I haven't smelled it yet. And he was like, you gotta buy it. So I shot him the bread to do it. And yeah, man, it never came. So listen, I'm gonna hop into this video, let you guys hear what he recommended. We'll have some discussion about these, and then maybe we'll even do a giveaway on the discovery set or something like that to kind of make this thing go well, because I knew that he would want you to smell amazing as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now, the first fragrance on this list today is one that is boozy, it's musky, it's elegant, and it's a scent that he enjoyed. He did have a few words to say about it. Let's hear what he had to say.
Buy it. This is going to be one of the year's best.
Prior to his transition into full-on relationship advice, if you were into the fragrance stuff, then you know that rose, ouds, and ambers was Kevin's thing, and this fragrance here is amber for sure. I actually picked this fragrance up because of him, and I now have 2 bottles because Cartier saw the review that I did on this fragrance and winded up sending me another bottle with my name engraved on it. So shout out to them for that one. But this one is a amber and woody fougere fragrance that is refined and a masculine fragrance for sure. So it has a bit of alluring seductiveness to it, but it's a super classy scent that I don't think you can go wrong with. So there you have it. Number 10 on our list is from Cartier, and this one is Pasha de Cartier Parfum. The next fragrance on our list today is from Hermes, and this one is Tête de Hermes Parfum. Now this fragrance here really takes what the original was and amplifies it. Now if you are familiar with Hermes fragrances, very similar to their products that they have, there's this air of elegance along with them, and Tête de Hermes, the OG in itself, was one that was to be revered, one that most fragrance enthusiasts have within their collection. So I'll be quiet for now and kick it over to my guy Kevin and see what he has to say.
Tête de Hermes Parfum in that collector bottle, fam. Who that? Oh, this is dope.
So as you can see, he thought this fragrance was dope. It's warm, it's sensual, and again, it amplifies what the original was. It's grapefruit, it's cedarwood, and it's a scent that I think is classy, elegant, and a fire fragrance for sure, and it's on his final fragrance recommendations. Now the next fragrance on our list today comes from a very popular fragrance house, designer clothing house, and it's in a ton of songs, but this fragrance here doesn't get a ton of shine. In fact, a lot of fragrances from this side of their fragrance collection aren't talked about as much, and this one comes from Dolce and Gabbana. Now Kevin was really into this scent, and this is the 2nd or 3rd occasion that he's reached out to me on this scent, and I figured I would share this one with you. As I stated, this one is from Dolce and Gabbana. This one is Velvet Amber Sun. So let's see what he had to say.
This one right here. When I tell you, even my mean, crotchety old neighbor came knocking on my door asking me, what are you wearing? Fam, everywhere I've gone wearing this, people have been digging on it. Velvet Amber Sun. Resinous, kind of pillowy, soft, powdery, vanillic amber. Think of Tom Ford Amber Absolute, toned down and wearable without the instant. Jesus Christ, this is good. Bro, this is really, really, really good. Really, 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 really good. Really, 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 really. And when that woman came knocking on my door, I mean, she had to come across the street because she smelled me at the mailbox.
Now, personally, I've never smelled this fragrance, but I can tell you that this is probably the third time that he's hit me up about this fragrance. I remember when he originally got this one in his collection. I was still in Florida, and I remember when he called me about this, man. I was riding down the street, going to pick up my youngest son from school, and he had a very similar story in terms of the compliment factor with this scent. It's one that I haven't come across yet, but I need to get my nose on it. If you have it out there, feel free to talk about it down in the comments. So as you can see, this list has, you know, some things that are centered around obviously notes that he enjoyed, as we talked about rose ouds and ambers. And this one has amber as well, and this one is Ambre Aurea from Parfum Roma. Now here's the deal, when it comes down to this fragrance line, in my opinion, they do fragrances really well. And although I haven't had the opportunity to smell the entire collection that they have to offer, the fragrances that I have from them have been executed extremely well. And this one, according to Kevin, is no different. So let's see what he has to say.
Bro, it's hard to tell you how good this fragrance is. Probably my favorite amber fragrance, at least in the top 3 now. Ooh, Jesus.
Now you heard it straight from the man's mouth, man. A top 3 amber. So it's a fragrance that I have not had in the collection. I do not own it, and I haven't had the opportunity to smell it yet. So therefore, I'm not going to make up anything and try to tell you what this fragrance smells like. Again, so there you have it, man. It's solidified, verified, stamped with the seal of approval. And it's a fragrance that I need to try. I got to get my nose on some of these fragrances that I have not had the opportunity to experience yet. And that's what we were doing, man. We go back and forth. We would send each other videos, whether picking up shoes, picking up watches and jewelry, etc. These are things that we went back to because this is things that we bonded over. I'll share some of those videos with you guys as well, maybe. But right now, let's talk about the fragrances. Now, this next one is a 2-for-1, so to speak. And these fragrances are really, really nice. And they come from a fragrance house that is underrated in my personal opinion. And it's kind of a designer house, but at the end of the day, if you have the opportunity to get your nose on these, I think that you will be just enamored by what this company has to offer. And the company is none other than that of Comme des Garçons, and most notably, they're known for making clothes, right? Shoes, you've seen the heart shirts, etc., and from their play line. But these fragrances really are nice, and we'll go through them a bit more, but let's see what he had to say.
Oldies but goodies. Probably one of the best 2-piece combos in the game. Even better than Prada Amber and Prada Amber Intense.
So there you have it. You have that mix up of amber rearing its head once again on this list. But when we look at these fragrances, they really offer something different completely between the two. But of these two, my favorite is going to be one in the amber-ish color bottle, which is more of that incense. You got some saffron here, vetiver, mahogany, you get some nutmeg there as well. Overall, a beautiful crafted fragrance. And again, if you put those two together, man, you are right on the road to success as it comes down to compliments with a fragrance. So there you have it, Comme des Garçons. Now next on our list, we have a warm tobacco fragrance that also has this sweet nuance to it as well that not everyone loved initially, but it does get a lot of love out there, if that makes any sense. So we'll hop into it.
Buy it. A great honeyed tobacco. Imagine if Black Phantom met Baccarat Rouge 540. Yeah. Only online.
So you heard the man. Black Phantom meets Baccarat Rouge 540. Two fragrances that are masterpieces in their own right, but combined and placed together, well, you are just getting massive appeal. This scent is one that I think most of you out there will enjoy. Again, as I said, when it first came out, there was some hate towards it, but more people began to love it than hate it. And as you heard him mention, online only. So that was very early on. This fragrance can be found in stores now. You can also pick up decants of this scent, so it's not really hard to find these days, but that was on the onset when that fragrance first came out. So Tabacalore from Dior. Now the next fragrance that we'll talk about today is one that is a classic, right? It's one that's on a lot of people's lists, but maybe not in this format, because Kevin was able to track down one of 100 bottles of the original formula of Baccarat Rouge 540 in the original presentation. So, take it away.
You gotta get that one there.
The OG Baccarat Rouge 540.
This is a perfume.
One of 100 in the original bottle. $4,000.
The same things in it, except it has one.
I know you could appreciate that. Enjoy, my brother.
Now, if you know anything about the commission of this fragrance and what it was really made for, that bottle is a crystal bottle. And listen, that's part of the price point on that. Got a $4,000 bottle of cologne there. And again, that's one of the rarities as it comes down to it. That formula and presentation is very different than what we experience today from the house of MFK, but that one was obviously created by Francis Kirk John himself, but more commissioned for Baccarat themselves. So there you have it, man. Amazing fragrance. It still gets a ton of accolades today, and obviously one that Kevin still recommends or would have recommended if he was here today. Now, the next fragrance on our list today is one that I am diving into this house, and Kevin and I had conversations about this for a while because I had a ton of samples from this fragrance house, but I did not own any bottles from this house, and it's something that I'm actively working on picking up now because I've really fell in love with a few of the fragrances within this lineup, and obviously he did as well. So let's see which one he had to talk about.
Probably some of the coolest frames you're gonna see in a minute. Got them Yays bow with the leather on them. And this fragrance right here, the Ylang Armani Privé. But when I tell you it is next level tea-based fragrance, man, it is probably one of the best I've smelled ever. Gucci Pour Homme d'Or, you know, that's a cool take on it, even though it's discontinued. You know, Silver Mountain Water is renowned for the tea in it. Bruh, I'm gonna tell you, this one right here is hella special. I had to bottle it.
So as you heard him mention, the Ylang has that tea note within it, and if you're familiar with fragrances in terms of what we do here, Silver Mountain Water for me is one of the most top tier fragrances on the market today, and one of the best from the house of Creed, and for sure one of the most complimented fragrances from Creed. Now Ylang has that same type of tea note there, but you also get some greenness here and also some smoke and spice, which gives it a very different twist. Now, if you're familiar with Armani fragrances, then you know they do a lot of things well. If we're talking about Acqua di Gio, you know, we're talking about Stronger With You, and obviously with the Armani Privé lineup or private lineup, then we are getting to something that is top tier. Now, the cool thing about these are they are elegant scents within those. The presentations are cool, and they're only 184 bucks or so under $200, and you're really diving into something that is vastly different from what they offer on the designer side of things. And you know, this is more their private collection, more of their upscale fragrances, you know, take things to another level. So there you have it, man. You heard it from them, the Ylang. Now, as we hop into this next one, there's going to be a few fragrances that you hear, but the ones that I want to focus on are at the end. So go ahead, check this out, man, and I'll come back and let you know my personal thoughts.
Bond number 9, Nomad. Check it out. Oh boy. And the original Bluefish Royal Oak chilling back in Atlanta. This is something you want to put your nose on. Bond number 9, Nomad. Picked up that Mimo Corfu, and there's one from the Harmonist called Matrix Metal, but the original, the one with the myrrh note in it. Brother, if you can get a hold of this fragrance right here, they just reformulated 3: Desired Earth, Velvet Fire, Golden Wood, Matrix Metal. The new formulation of this I don't like, but the original, my God, that myrrh note is up there with hypnotizing fire, and you know I love that stuff. If you can get the OG version of this, man, buy it.
So in this instance, the ones that I really want to talk about are going to be a Matrix Metal and Hypnotizing Fire. Now with Matrix Metal and Hypnotizing Fire, they are both from the Harmonist, and we did see him talk about Bond No. 9's Nomad in there, which is also another great fragrance. But the Harmonist doesn't get a lot of play, and I don't think, no, let me rephrase that because I'm not sure what the masses know. But personally, I haven't heard a ton of people talk about what these fragrances are and what they offer. And in fact, I've just started to dive into what they have to offer myself, and I've been thoroughly impressed. Now, as it comes down to those two scents, Matrix Metal and Hypnotizing Fire, I was blown away. To me, that Hypnotizing Fire smells like a more upscale version of By the Fireplace, amplified and just boom, mind blowing. And as you heard him mention, it's a fragrance that he loves, and I think that a lot of you out there will enjoy that one as well. So listen, if you have that in your collection, feel free to comment down below. I'm thinking about picking up a bottle myself because right now I just have testers of it, but it's a fragrance that I just think needs to be bottle worthy for me. So there you have it, man. Matrix Metal and Hypnotizing Fire. For me, Matrix Metal is going to be more so for that spring and summer. Hypnotizing Fire more so on that darker side of things, so fall, winter, but I did wear them both in the summer and they smelled amazing. And before I hop into the final fragrance I want to talk about today, I'll kind of reveal the fragrance that was the last fragrance that we discussed, and this one was from Guerlain, and this one is Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Okay, I did not own a bottle of that. He called me up, told me all these great things about it since I hadn't smelled it yet, and he was like, do you want it? And I said sure, and I sent him the money for it. And because of the things that happened, obviously untimely demise, I wasn't able to experience that fragrance yet, and I'm holding off on purchasing another bottle, just to, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. So when we get into this last fragrance, ideally I thought I was going to place this fragrance number one, L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain, but the fragrance I'm going to place in the number one spot is the fragrance that I talk about all the time, and I had never smelled this fragrance before until I purchased it. And I purchased it based upon a phone call from Kevin. He called me and he just went crazy about this fragrance, right? So I said, cool. He put me in contact with the sales associate over at Tom Ford, and I hadn't heard from her in a few days, so I went online and purchased it. And she finally gave me a call, and you know, I left her the message like, hey, Kevin told me to call you, boom. And because I had done that, I ended up just buying a bottle from her as well, because you know you want to make your people look good, right? So and my wife ended up loving the fragrance, so she ended up getting that one from me, and there you have it, man. It's been history ever since. This fragrance, as I mentioned, does come from Tom Ford, and this was Tom Ford's Ebon Fumé. Ebon Fumé is a fragrance that I am in love with, and so was he. Palo Santo scent, its smoke just takes seduction, attraction, and that alluring nature to a completely different level. One of the things that we would say is Tom Ford is the master of seduction, and I would call him Tom Fordy Ford, and they delivered on this scent. So it's a fragrance that I think deserves to be in the number one spot because it's a fragrance that I often talk about on this channel, and it was a recommendation from Kevin, and so there you have it, man. Hopefully this video impacted somebody out there. I know you guys have been asking for this video. I've delivered it, and I want to see y'all win, man. So here's what I'll do is what I'm going to do is give away a bottle of L'Homme Ideal Extreme. That's the last fragrance that we talked about. 7 days from today, we will pick a winner. All the details will be listed down below. That you guys know, if maybe you don't know, there's a lot of scammers going around on YouTube right now, so I won't put that as a giveaway in the title. And I also try to come up with a unique way of doing it. I'm not sure what that's going to look like right now, so I'm not going to mention it. It's going to be down in the comments, right? And I want to make sure that we're protecting you in that way. So there you have it. If you're looking for the details on how to win a bottle of L'Homme Ideal Extreme, that's how you're going to do it. Comment down below, follow all the instructions there. If you want to see more videos like this, then you already know what to do. As always, I'm your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are back again. Peace, 2 fingers and I'm out, fam. Yiddy.